Should be good. Just checking the gate real quick. Make sure that we are good to go. In a momento. And we should be live. We are live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Jedi Academy. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday morning. Grab your coffee, croissants, your breakfast sandwiches, your cereals, your fruits, your vegetables, your steaks, whatever it is that gets you going in the morning. Maybe it's venison. I don't know. But just grab your stuff because this is time for some Jedi Academy. This is where we hang out with you wonderful people. And this is a Q&A show. And we bring in the best and the brightest of content creators out there in the YouTube world. And we are here to answer your questions. And the way it works is if you have a question for the esteemed panel, all you need to do is put your question in the chat. Make sure you put question in front of your statement because that's how we scoop it up. If you don't, then we will not be able to get it. It would just be impossible because we use Nightbot, and that's the best way to do it. Just put question in front of your statement, and we will get that scooped up. We've compiled a wonderful group of people like we always do. But first, I have to introduce my heterosexual life partner, the troll extraordinaire, Dr. Finn Medicine Woman.
This isn't Borderlands 3.
No, it's not, Finn. It's not Naruto. It's not Battlefront. It's not. It's Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Yes, I need you to get focused. Are you focused now?
I need stuff to pew pew with. Good thing I can relic up all the guns in the game. Haha.
Ha ha. Hee hee ho ho. Dodge, duck, dodge, very sweet. Okay. Also joining us all the way from Colorado. Colorado Mountain High, Colorado. Warrior from Warrior Presents is here.
What is going on?
Yes.
How are you guys?
We're doing good. I know you're on your way to work.
I am here.
You're already at work. Okay. So
yeah.
Warrior is super prepared today because he's got coffee and he's at work.
That's right.
That's the kind of dedication you can expect from the Academy, folks. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is why people love this show so much. All right. Also joining us, who else we got in here? Someone else popped in here. Let me look real quick.
The Jedi Master.
Yeah, someone with the name of some movie that's coming out on September 30th, Ad Dastra, is here. And they put Jedi Master in front of their name. Oh, hi, Jedi Master Dastra.
Hello, good morning.
Has Brad Pitt called you yet to make sure that you get your percentage of the name copyright that's going on right now in the movie?
Oh yeah, we've already got it all worked out.
Yeah, you probably didn't care about that. You're like, hi, Brad Pitt. Was he dreaming?
Yeah, I have a small cameo in that movie and everything.
Yes. She comes with the lightsaber. They actually stop the film like, are you a Jedi? And she's like, yep. Okay, that works. Let's just keep going with it. How are you, Jedi?
Yeah, it looks like it could be a fun movie though, but yeah, it just cracks me up with the name.
I know.
I've gotten pinged so many times from people. Hey, I didn't know you had a movie about you.
I know.
Hey, are you in this movie? Hey, what's this all about?
You just respond back, you know that it's a word in the English language. They can use it too. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Let's kick this pig into gear. Not a lot going on this week. Don't know really what we're going to talk about. Don't know really what's on other people's minds. Oh, yeah, relics. Holy God. You know, when CG drops stuff, they really drop stuff on us. So I have been nothing but inundated with questions after questions after questions of relics. We're going to let the Steam panel kind of share their thoughts, and then we'll get your questions. So keep getting your questions in. Dr. Finn's scooping those up. Glad to see everybody here. Warrior, we were just having a long conversations about relics. Now, on the Wednesday show, I did it live. I hadn't seen anything, and I was very sad. I was a sad panda, but I did it live. Let's try to give some positive about relics. because there's a lot of negatives about relics. But let's start with the positives first and see for you what's positive and what's negative about relics.
Yeah, so I did a couple of videos in the last.
I saw your
week.
video, and I was the same way, dude, when I was doing it.
Yeah, the first was the live stream because I was like, I gotta like go in and like show people, just like how it affects ships, how it affects characters, and like I'll take the bullet, I'll bite those packs because I can afford it. Some people can't, so I'm gonna throw that money away, and I'm gonna show people kind of what happens. And I wanted to do like an arena character, and then I wanted to do like ships characters, and so I was kind of smart with Han and Chewie. But my reactions, I think I lost some hair moving my hat off and on so much because I was freaking out. I didn't realize that those were my reactions until I watched it back, and I irritated myself watching myself. I was like, stop touching your hat, dude. Like, it was super annoying for myself to watch myself, but I was genuinely concerned for the game in that moment because I'm like, this is totally broken. Like, people talk about power creep, but power creep in this game has been at least in a controlled fashion, and this was like, you know what, we're just going to sprinkle a lot of pixie dust all over everything and watch it all just go to hell. So I was a bit nervous about this whole thing, but to positive, we're gonna talk positive this morning because we've let the dust settle a little bit, and I've got 2 points that I think are going to make a huge impact to everyone listening, and they're going to feel like, there is some hope. The first is I have dilly-dallied with these things for the last week, and I just like looked and I was like, whoops, I'm like 6 million GP. What? Like, how did that happen? And apparently these relics, man, they really, and I mean really boost your GP. So the good news is for everybody that's out there, if you're like, I can't afford these, I can't get them, well, your GP is going to stay the same. For everybody you were competing with that can't afford it, they're now going to be in a different category because their GP is going to skyrocket. In fact, I had a complaint from someone on my comment section that said the GP is so high, he's like, it's not fair because I can't do relics, or I'm going to have to compete with the whaley of the whales because it's pushing my GP up over 4.5. It's just funny because, if he's got relics, that's probably who he should be competing with. So it's good because the GP variant is going to become so wide that you're going to have less people in your category. If you're under 2 million and you're like kicking everyone's butt and a bunch of your competitors get relics, well, they're going to be 2.5 million before they know it. And they're not even going to try. And it's like, whoops, and they're out of your competition. So first, they did accordingly add GP. They did a good job of making sure the GP boost was large, like the largest ever. So that way, if you did do these relics, it was going to put you in another category, another class. That's good. I'm happy with that. In addition, all the in-game stuff between like the raids and the GOTB and all that.
Huge difference. I beat the crap out of the I did GBA like you did with the Relic Gear 13 and crushed the 13 event with the Geonosians. Stupid easy.
Exactly. And so everybody's going to notice that all of this in-game content that was like, how are we supposed to beat this? We can't even attempt this stuff. It's like, well, you got a couple of key characters that are Tier 13 Relic Tier 4 or Tier 5, and all of a sudden you're going to find yourself crushing this newer content. In fact, I think they almost released Relics too soon to GOTB because these characters with Relics really do mop up and clean house. In fact, I think we're going to get 33 stars. We'll see. But I think we're going to be able to get 33 stars in this GOTB now because of, all the whaley whales that have whaled on the relics, and we're going to have that. But the last point about relics that I want to make, and I think this is super important for everyone to hear, is relics determine the meta. And when I say that, I genuinely mean it. If you love Night Sisters, and you put all your eggs in that basket and you get them all to Relic Tier 7, that team can beat anything. Anything. There's nothing that can lose that they lose to. But you can only do one team. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to get 5 characters to Tier 7. I have yet to see a team out there that's 5 Tier 7s. Now, that might happen. There may be some Uber Kraken somewhere that has just gone ape crap on money and spent a ton. But the vast majority of people have 3 or less of these Tier 7s. And that is means that you have to drill down on a specific team or a specific character. One character on a team doesn't make or break a team. It just means you have to focus killing that guy first if you can, like Anakin or like General Grievous or whatever. And there's counters for all of that, which just makes the meta more diverse. But if somebody took their clones all the way up to tier 7, and I've seen it, there is someone that has a tier 7 Anakin, a tier 7 Echo, and a tier 7, I think it was 5, on the relics. It's like, that's beating Darth Revan's easily. Just smoking them because it's a hyper-focused team. So clones could be meta because it is now for a few people. You could take your GBA to tier 7 and you have a tank that's tier 7. And you could put your other guys to, a couple of them like Spy to tier 7. Spy's hitting for $500,000 on one hit. $500,000 on one hit easily on his first shot attempt with tier 7. So at this point, relics are giving us the opportunity that if everybody genuinely wants to dive into their favorite faction, do it. Make your faction meta. You can do it. Just hyper focus on that one and make them your arena team. And as long as they're all like, tier 7 or tier 6, you're going to beat whatever's out there because the power is so big that you're just going to destroy everything that you go against. So it allows for diversity of the meta and for people to actually enjoy with the characters they actually want to enjoy with. So I think there is some good with this. The GP gains are so huge. You can play with whoever, and there's not that many, that you can even do that. It really creates this new world of, paper, rock, scissors that we have always desired but haven't been able to have. No. So I'm kind of excited for it. It does stink that it's hard to get, and I'll tell you from a whale/Kraken's perspective, if they don't keep providing these packs that give you an entire amount to upgrade one character to tier 7, like at least once a month, it's going to stall. It's already stalled. I've got 3 tier 7s and a couple tier 3s and 1 tier 5, and I'm stalled. If they don't provide more of that currency, I'll get bored and I just won't care about the relics anymore. So I've already, communicated to them they're going to have to maintain the ability for whales to whale, or it's going to flop. Even though they did really well over the last week in sales. They skyrocketed from 36th place to top 20 in profit, just in 2 days. Mm-hmm. So it was the push they were looking for financially, I think. But, if I can't keep going, I'm just going to not care anymore. And that's the way it works. So they're going to have to really, decide how they're going to move forward with it. And I think they're afraid of doing the packs because then you can get too many people too powerful too quick. So I don't know how they're going to handle it.
Yeah, it's a great point. All right, Jedi Master Dasha, your thoughts on relics?
Well, I was pretty excited for them because of the reason that everything is getting boosted, for the point that Warrior made, that you can boost up any character and it's going to make them strong and you can make use of them in arena, grand arena, territory wars. It's a chance to kind of balance things again because of all the boosts that every character gets. So for me, Jedi, a lot of the Jedi are getting some pretty awesome boosts. Kenobi can just become more of a tanky monster. Anakin is just an offensive monster. Holy crap. I took my Anakin to 7 and he's just insane. His AoE can just clear a team. His basic is hitting for over 100k. It's pretty fun in that regard that your favorite characters or your faction is just these relics are just, it's crazy. And yeah, it does trivialize everything up to this point. I'm looking forward to, I have the Sith raid today. I'm looking forward to seeing, I also took my Grandmaster Yoda to Relic 7. I'm looking forward to see the insane damage output that he's going to have during the Sith raid. I'm thinking I'm going to get a new personal best. And, but then as far as arena though, again, it's fun. I have always enjoyed testing stuff and trying things. So these relics, it'll give you a chance to try characters that otherwise you weren't meta. Again, these relics are just crazy. And they did handle, I know it was really scary at first with the way, you can buy everything. So the Kraken's whale is going all out on it. but it was like a one-off. Like, okay, they bought the packs, it's done. Now they're like the rest of us and have to farm up. Well, everyone's in the same after that. I mean, that's the cantina currency, but then the gear is a finite amount. Eventually, even us older players, we're gonna run out of all this extra gear. So I don't know that. Yeah, you're gonna have to kind of pick and choose. You're gonna have to, because we still got more content incoming too. Like I'm hoping General Anakin will hit that pretty soon. So I'm gonna kind of hoard and wait so I can devote resources to him next. But I'm excited for that because there's already these shifts and turns because of the relics with the boost it's giving to all these different characters. And I'm hoping Arena can maybe become diverse again. Maybe. Since, teams are able to kill the Darth Revan teams once you relic. Just a Relic 7 Anakin is enough to kill a Relic Darth Revan team. So I'm really hoping this is like the beginning of the shift to kill, Malak Revan teams finally and get some diverse in Arena again. I'm, fingers crossed for that. But I'm having a blast with the Relic stuff. And another character I reliced, I'm sure you all love, Jedi Knight Guardian.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Gotta stay true to myself.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
to be honest, I'm working on a video. Like it'll also help to highlight how insane these relics are. I'm making a video showing this insane Jedi Guardian. But I've used their on teams before, so it wasn't just out of nowhere. But it was still, I want to do one fun character while I'm focusing on all the main stuff. So she's my one fun character, but she's also useful for me. I don't recommend this to anyone else in the world. This is just my thing. Don't go out relicking your guardians. But I'm gonna show a fun of her wrecking stuff. Like it cracks me up. Just how these relics. It's kind of neat. I'm curious to see how things continue from here. And then the new content we get, like, good God, what are the requirements gonna be? Light side TV, is it gonna require
20,500? Yeah,
Like,
just gets to get in there. Like, okay, that's not gonna work, but yeah. Now there are negatives to the relics, and a couple is that you can only do so many characters. Even if you get all the extra salvage that you need from the packs and things of that nature, is even as a long-time player, you will burn through the gear quick. So it is going to limit you in that way. The other thing is, it is having a huge impact. The positive for GAC is that it will separate people out for battles. Good. Problem is, we still have Squad Arena and Fleet Arena, and the effect on relics on those between the Krakens and those that just don't spend or can't afford to spend is ridiculous. The ships separation is insane, and so is some of the character separation, where people that are especially free to play that have like their teams with Revan and their ships and could climb are basically not able to do it. I mean, look, he was losing his mind the other day to it. So there's a lot of negatives about it as well. So I'm sure we're going to get lots of questions on this. Finn, are you ready for questions, my friend?
Sure.
Did you want to offer anything, or are you still like recovering from your Borderlands addiction right now?
So I don't know what else to say besides the fact that the whole scavenger thing tends to be a ripoff for a lot of different things if you're not careful. The exchange rates
I forgot about that.
Aren't consistent necessarily. They have it standardized, right? So that if it's a salvage piece, you get a particular amount. If it's a crafted piece, it's another amount. They don't necessarily equate to the exact same thing, especially at the higher ones, where sometimes you only need 20 to craft, sometimes you need 50 to craft. And all of the pricing is done assuming that you need 50 to craft. And sometimes, if the craft requires 2 different crafted pieces, it still only counts. It only gives you the scrap for 1. I don't like the fact that the conversion rates on this is basically making it so that you have to do math and actually analyze all the different pieces in order to figure out which is your best value to generate your salvage, or to generate your.
I can tell you a good rule of thumb, and I can't do it anymore because I'm too whaley, which sucks. This is actually a free-to-play advantage. So you know how when you're going through a character and gearing them up, you can click on a gear piece and it shows all the salvage, and you can just hit craft, and make like 10 to 15 of them, so you don't have to keep doing that. Just do that for all of them, because crafted items have credits spent, so they're accommodating for that by giving you way more value for it. So fully crafted is always going to have a much higher value, like a way skewed value, way more than the individual pieces, because the individual pieces are just trash pieces that are just sitting there. When you craft it, they know you've taken the time, you spent the credits, blah, blah, blah. So if you can go through a character, maybe even 3 characters, so that way you from like gear 7 to gear 11, and just go through and try and fully craft absolutely anything and everything. And if you've got 10,000 of a piece, fully craft that crap. All of it. Spend the credits. It's not that much credits. You'll be surprised how much more it converts. And I can't do this because I have no character I have 1 character is gear 11. That's Watts. Everything else is gear 12. I can't go backwards, and there's no way for me to go into my reserves and like craft these things. So I've got pieces that are worth nothing, but if I could just go and craft them. For example, the Mark III holo projector by itself fully crafted is way, way, way higher value than 20 individual pieces. And I have like 1,000 of the pieces, but if I could just go in, find a character, and just start crafting, I could give myself a significant boost in that. And I know they're not going to change this, because fully crafted, like I said, is you've taken time, you've taken credits, like they're accommodating for that, which is great. The problem is I have no way of going in and crafting the things I want to craft, so they've kind of gotcha. But for anyone that's not like me and that can go into a character and start crafting all this stuff, do it. Like, just craft everything. A piece that's worth 2, fully crafted, is worth 12. And it's like, those pieces are trash, but they jump. A piece that's worth 6 is now worth 18. Some of them that are worth 15 are now worth 50, fully crafted. It's just crazy. So you've got to go in and fully craft stuff as much as possible.
You have to be careful on that a little bit, though, Warrior. So the holo projectors, you're right. The problem is at that tier, and most people were looking at the Erodium disc, and we were looking at that on the Wednesday stream. The pricing is done with the salvage being 1 and the fully crafted being 50 times that. So the salvage gets you 10, and the 50 times becomes 500, but the holo projectors only require 20. So you get a huge benefit from that. Stun guns, however, is 10 per salvage and 500 for the prototype crafted, which means that actually you just lose your credits. You're better off converting 50 of the salvage versus crafting even the prototype stun gun. Sad part, if you add a full Carbonti and create the full stun gun, it is also still 500. The conversion rates are you have to know exactly. This is my problem with their system. Like, if you go through it, and I was looking at some of them, that
doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. The way it's set up is that it's standardized so that salvage gets a particular amount, and at each of the different components, there is a multiplier that they add for the crafted. So a lot of them at the lower one, they have a 5 multiplier. So as long as it has 5 uses, then you're good. At the higher end, they're with 50, which is why the holo projectors, the Mark III holo projectors, great value if you craft it. The stun guns and everything else are crap. Like, you're just losing on credits. You get the black eyeball salvage for 20. You can craft the full eyeball for 500. Like, it's the most ridiculous setup ever. And if you're not paying attention to it, you're just losing resources, which is why I don't like this, because they're kind of like fleecing people that don't have the time to pay attention to all of the like conversion rates and calculate all of this out. It's really bad on players. The economy is not well managed in the salvage scrap.
Yeah, I had no idea. I just started looking at some of the lower end stuff and noticed there was like a 5-to-1 ratio, and I was like, man, you need to fully craft this, and I can't fully craft it. So I was like, well, shoot, I'm screwed. So it is what it is for me. But that's interesting that they don't have a consistency across the board on all of that.
Yeah, we were scratching our head at that one. We really were like, wait a minute. So if I add a Carbonti to the stun gun and do the full piece, it's still only 500. But if I was like, wait a minute, what?
there is one of those pieces that you can buy from the guild store for like 100 or 150 currency. One of the pieces is in the guild store.
Yeah.
I ended up buying it because I'm the same. But Warrior was. I didn't have it available. to craft, so, but you can buy them for 100, and it's not a bad deal.
Look, everybody, it's Carolina's finest. Good old Maurice.
Yeah, and as soon as I get here, I get a phone call, work call, so I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay.
Like, welcome. Oh, okay, bye.
Hi, everybody, I'm here, and it's gone. Good old Maurice showed up, and he's gone. Oh, God.
That's my biggest problem with the whole system in particular. I mean, forgetting about all the stats and all that, right? Just they have the system, they'll set it up how they want. We have to deal with it one way or another. But the way that they did the scrap, the economy just is not good. People, you need to wait a little while, honestly, especially free to play, before you jump into these things, because especially newer players, you might be converting at a much worse rate than if you use particular items and all of that. So that's
think about it in like a month, they're going to say, oh, we've looked into it, it's a bug. All of it should convert at the same rate, or it should convert at an elevated rate as you go up, or whatever, and they're going to recognize it as a bug and then go, we're really sorry. We'll be fixing that in the next TU12 update in 2 months. And then it'll have gone 3 months, and everyone will be completely out of gear, and it won't matter.
Mm-hmm. And then the new players will come in and say this was like pre-crafting 2.0 all over again.
All right. Let's start getting to the questions. There's a lot of questions coming in. Dr. Finn, let's start with Warrior and work our way around. You know the deal, brother. Keep those questions coming in. I'm monitoring chat. Finn's getting the questions, so let's do this.
All right. Warrior. So first question from Paparazzi, and I think this is something you addressed a little bit, Warrior, at the beginning, but the question from Paparazzi is, in what order are whales relicking things?
Honestly, I think we're kind of, the whale community is kind of like the regular community in the sense that we're all different. There are whales I've seen that they had, like me, they had the three purchased spent before we even thought. We're just like, bam, bam, bam. Oh, shoot, I can't do any more. Whoops. And then others who are like hoarding, who are like, I'm going to let the dust settle, and I want to make sure that I put it on the right characters because I don't want to be an idiot like Warrior. And you know what I mean? I think I did a good job picking good characters. But so honestly, everyone's different. There are some that are going crazy, and they have like 4s, 7s, and a 6 on their arena team, and the arena is all that matters. I would venture to tell people to not do that because, like I said, an entire Darth Revan team with 3 tier 7s and a tier 5 and a tier 4 got totally one-shotted after 2 hits from a single GG that was tier 7. So you just got to be careful what you're dumping them all into. But I think a lot of Kraken surprisingly have been kind of slow to make sure that they're making the right decisions. I think there's some consistent with like, they say, oh, well, we all know that Anakin's used in a counter for Darth Revan, so how about we do Anakin? And then they raised Anakin up, and they found out he's super, super amazing. His AoE does like 200k to everyone, which is kind of like a General Grievous for the Jedi. So that's a really cool option. So a lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon for that. And so it's kind of like, but I've seen a lot of favorites, like random characters that we probably should not be relicking. We're relicking because we want to, right? It's like I did young Lando. I put some relics on young Lando. Why? Because I want to have fun with the game. That's why. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I just want to do it. So leave me alone, kind of thing. And I've seen, I've seen a Newt that was relicked up. Because they love Newt Gunray, and that team's going to be insane in Arena and in Darkside GOTB. And so I don't really think you can make a mistake with relics, with the exception of maybe like the bottom 40 characters in the game. You might want to stay away from those because they sucked before relics, and even with their relics, they still don't quite match the, like Cup. Even relic tier 7, Cup's still Cup. Like, you know what I mean? His AoE that he does is still unimpressive at tier 7. So you're doing that just to kind of show off and be silly, but it really kind of wastes your relic stuff, and that's a real waste. You don't get many. So like I said, I think whales are kind of a representative of the community in the sense that some hoard, some spend before they think, some think it out and spend, some do a little bit on important characters and a little bit on kind of the characters they're having fun with. I went through and actually looked at all the stats on GG to like everyone that has like the best abilities now, after relics, considering all relics, who has the best abilities, who has the best single attack, the best AoE, the best this and that, the best stat gains, the best, health steal increase, blah, 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 just all those things. And then tried to make a list of top 15 that basically were impacted, individual characters that were impacted the best. And that's the last video I did. And there was a lot of really close calls, like Wampa. Wampa is someone that a lot of people aren't even thinking about. I put Nest on the list instead, just due to the fact that Nest is she gets the hair edge over Wampa. But Wampa actually now does significantly more damage than Nest. He can ramp up and do 200k on his basic if he's tier 7. That is god level. You know what I mean? He can one shot a Darth Revan team by himself. All you got to do is stack him with tenacity and watch him counter and destroy the opponent. So it's based on how the whale feels, and we're just like everybody else. Some of us are going to do what we want to do. I did ships because I love ships. Some people are like, that's stupid. Han and Chewie, are more powerful, but so is every other attacker. Some people do Night Sisters. I saw a Night Sister Spirit doing her special for 200k. Her dispel 200k. Her basic was 80,000. She was throwing those stupid yellow balls or those green like goo balls for like 88,000 on her basic. Like, that is fun. That's awesome. So I think it's just a matter of what people are going to enjoy.
All right. Next question, Dr. Finn.
All right. So next question for Jedi Master Adastra. Question from Sith Lord 72, and the question is, my 210 million GP guild lost 3 members during TB when relics arrived. Has any of your guilds have similar concerns about guild turnover?
Oh, dang. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, I was worried about that. Like, I've lost shardmates and friends when these big things drop, and relics is no exception. I lost more shardmates because of that. Like, shard is becoming a ghost town. It's kind of depressing. And guilds, oh, absolutely. I mean, at least in my guild, we're having, I don't think anyone's left because of relics, but I know it's caused some ripples, that they're a little worried that because we're so up there that, if we like, can we stay competitive? Can we, against I mean, there's no shot at taking on the top 5 guilds anymore. I mean, because they can just, all of them are Krakens up there practically. But, we're all still having fun playing this game. And, as the dust kind of settles, relics aren't as bad as what a lot of people are fearing. And it's shaking things up. But I think it's shaking things up in a more positive way than negative. But yeah, it's like I said, thankfully my guild seems to be okay in that regard. But I know other guilds that, yeah, if the people are just, I'm done with this game, can't keep up anymore. I mean, I don't know what you can really do. I mean, you can kind of maybe put a message out to your guild, like, hey guys, just give it a chance, take a breather, don't think about it too much, just you don't have to go all crazy with it. Just kind of chill out for a little bit. Like, don't have a knee-jerk reaction. Like, maybe put some sort of an encouraging message, depending on the type of guild you're in. If you're like a purely competitive guild, like, hey, we're gonna analyze things. We'll pick, this or that to work on. But in the meantime, just chill, take a step back. Just kind of observe as things are progressing. You kind of just have to take it slow and just, and again, it's just a game. Just got to remember that it's all a game. We're here to have fun while being competitive in our different ways. So, I'm hoping that, I wish you luck that if you can retain your members or get new members, if those ones are adamant on leaving, I hope you can fill those spots with, people that are hungry to stay or having a blast. But yeah, I know across the board, it's definitely having a ripple. No matter where you're at, newer players, older players, everyone's
feeling it.
Yeah, like in different ways. So just gotta take the breather. Don't get overwhelmed. It's every time a new thing hits, it's always, there's always some fear there. But we make it through. We're still here.
Okay. All right. Good on Maurice. Still the focus. Back to Warrior Finn.
All right. So next question is for Warrior from Darth Scion 1972. It says, for Warrior, is it better to relic my Grievous first or my Han and Chewie from Millennium Falcon? I currently take top 3 in Arena and first in Fleet. I don't want to lose all my crystal income. Thanks.
So, follow-up question, hopefully he can answer really quick. Is he currently using Darth Revan versus Darth Revan and struggling, or Darth Revan versus Darth Revan and doing fine for that? Or is he trying to use the Grievous team that destroys the Darth Revans? And 2, how is he doing in, like, which one's more important, ships or regular arena?
Okay. I will look for the response. So I'll move on to Adastra, and hopefully we'll get Scion's response, and then we can circle back to that question for you. So Jedi Master Adastra, question from Jedi Gunny 1216 says, what gear piece is best to farm once your inventory is depleted?
I'm guessing that's for the scavenger or in general?
I'm assuming it's for scavenger, but yeah, I'm assuming it's scavenger.
Oh, well, I mean, you guys kind of covered it well with the conversion rates. Like I guess the holo projectors is one of the best things for your buck. With the salvage versus crafted. So kind of look for pieces like that where you'll get a nice multiplier. And it's also cheaper energy farming if you're. I don't know if you want to farm that specifically. I mean, you can buy those in like the shard store, the regular store with credits. But farming, I mean, if you have nothing else to farm, then I guess farm pieces like that. That'll give you the most bang for your buck in the salvage and crafting it. And then it'll be like the lower energy costs too, so you can hopefully get a decent drop rate. I mean, it's double drops right now, though that's not saying much. You can't double 0 or you get 1. But yeah, in that regard, just go for the. I think people have been posting guides now too, actually, kind of helping people to get aware of that. Like, don't just go on a spree when you go to the scavenger because of the way the system is. If you want to be smart about it, here's a guide of this piece will turn to this piece if you craft it, and etc. So I think there's a few of those guides out there now that I don't know if you guys are aware. Like maybe you can post one or something to kind of help guide people with this. Because like you said, if people are unaware, they're just going to go on a crafting spree without thinking about it.
All right. So going back to Warrior's last question. So again, I'll just repeat the question, and then we do have follow-up from Darth Scion Warrior. So the question again, is it better to relic my General Grievous first or my Han and Chewie from Millennium Falcon? Currently take top 3 in Arena and first in Fleet, and I don't want to lose all my crystal income. He responded also saying that he does Darth Revan versus Darth Revan and is struggling, but able to climb around some people. And for Fleet, his fleet is a smaller shard, so it's easiest to get first with no refreshes. I'm having to do 1 to 2 refreshes in Arena to take rank 1 through 3.
Okay, so it sounds like that ships is fine, so I wouldn't worry about Han and Chewie right now. Plus, that's 2 characters, tier 7, whereas Grievous is 1, which would free up another opportunity somewhere else, like Anakin or something. So I would probably do General Grievous for a couple of reasons. One, you could use it. You could build that team that uses General Grievous to destroy. Keeping in mind T3 is important to that team, and the armor penetration, Zeta, and all that. Like a lot of people start bailing and trying to go towards the Zeta or Grievous and realize they don't even have the pieces for that team to work right. Because General Grievous does not work right if he doesn't have all the pieces. He needs the 88 lead. He needs benefit. He needs the the T3's armor pen. He needs a lot of stuff around him, and you got to keep T3 survive long enough. You can't have him like dying right away, or otherwise he loses that because it's only while he's active. So there's just like a lot of pieces to that. But regardless, you can start working towards that team. And General Grievous, Tier 7 Relic is going to be amazing in Darkside GOTB and Grand Arena Championships and yada, yada, yada. So I really think that you can't go wrong with Grievous. Grievous is one of those, like, top 10 characters where, if you do it, you'll never regret doing it. So he was kind of like when he went to Gear 13, he was the most impressive Gear 13 character. He's definitely top 5 most impressive attacker after the updates. So I think that would be the route to go.
Okay. So we're back to the top then with Warrior. I don't think Good Old Maurice is back yet, is he? No, I don't think he's back yet. Okay. So Warrior, next question to you is from Wolffell. And the question is, with the Vulture droid not having crew, so no relic increases available, what can be done about this? Will it be worth farming when it becomes available?
Was that to me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are like, well, so a crewless ship is going to be trash, and that's just not the case. First off, you remember, B1, B1's got like 100 stacks and just never goes away, and it's like just constantly annoyingly there, and you just kind of ignore it. That's Vulture Droid once we have a Separatist capital ship. And everybody knows that the Separatist capital ship is coming, and everybody knows that the Vulture Droid's pretty much trash until we get the Separatist capital ship, because the Vulture Droid never goes away. If there's a Separatist capital ship there, every time the Vulture Droid dies, it just gets replaced with another Vulture Droid. So it doesn't matter if it's inferior. It's about its kit, and its kit is about placing those debuffs that basically make ships melt, and they get replaced and just keep getting replaced and keep getting replaced. So that ship, because of its kit, will always be viable. In fact, that'll be a critical ship once it becomes farmable for the Separatist fleet that will eventually become, I believe, future meta.
All right. Next question is for Jedi Master Adrastra from Jedi Gunny 1216. And the question is, what is the best relic to level to shoot for if you can relic 7 right off the bat? I refuse to give CG any more of my money. I am a 5.1 million GP player with the July 2016 shard.
Okay, well, that's kind of variable on a few, like, are you your arena, TW, Grand Arena? So from just a purely, like, character it'll help you in every phase, they're just talking about Grievous. Like, he is one of the best ones that gets it if you have the teams around him. Just the general team with him, it's terrifying. Like, he gets such crazy boosts, but a lot of characters get boosts. So you'd kind of just have to see where you're at. I mean, it'd be hard to say. I mean, you can just go from like a pure top 10 list. They have all the stats posted on the website now that you can see characters that get insane boosts. So it'll kind of depend on your preferences, like a utility character, an attacker, a character that can plug into multiple teams so you can get a lot of use out of that character, like a character like Zaris, for example. She gets such an insane health boost, and she kind of goes with a lot of teams to help elevate them. Or, there's, of course, attackers like Anakin that just obliterates teams. Like, he alone, you don't need any other Relic characters with him. You just have a Relic 7 Anakin with the Shock T lead, with the General Jedi Knight Revan lead, or a Padme team, like Anakin. He's a beast. Like, he's up there definitely as one of the best Relic options, because and it'll be good in all the game modes. We're ahead, maybe. I'm looking at light side TV too. So it'll be interesting to see how these characters impact that mode. But right now, with Territory Wars, Grand Arena, and Arena, most of these top 5, top 10 characters, they're gonna excel in all of those game modes. So again, an attacker, you can't really go wrong right now with an attacker like that. They just overpower. Like, you can take down a ranked a Relic 7 Darth Revan team with just a Relic 7 Anakin. That's how strong. I'm so glad for that. I was so scared the Sith Empire would become unstoppable, depending how their relics panned out. But thankfully, that's not the case. So again, in terms of like one character just overpowering another, Anakin and Grievous are definitely up there from an attacker standpoint. And if you want to go like a tanky route, Kenobi gets a lot of boosts. L3, like your main big tanks, they just become even more of a pain, and you can slot them in various teams. So kind of look at that. If you have one relic to take to 7, kind of look at your roster and see, is this character gonna like how much impact will it have for you as a player with your roster? Can you use this character multiple spots, or do you just love one game mode above the other? You can become more of a terrifying person in Grand Arena, for instance, with one of the Relic 7s. If you place it on defense, it's that's gonna be just daunting looking at it before even fighting it. When you see a Relic 7 maxed out character, that you're gonna have to use something strong against that. So yeah, I would give it a lot of thought for sure. Like if I only had one Relic, for me it still would have been Anakin. He was my first one. Because for all those reasons stated. But for you, kind of do that same thing. Like look through a character that'll really impact and last for you. Like don't just do a for fun character unless that's how you play. But from a strategic standpoint, choose one that'll really just destroy even more than it has. Again, you have the website if you're curious about stat boosts. Like it's been pretty fun looking at that, seeing this character gets health, damage, crit avoidance, or dodge chance. Some characters just like Night Sisters, that whole group, that main group, they all got good boosts. Like I was impressed by that. I definitely want to be Night Sisters eventually, because all of them got some really good boosts. Like Relic 7 Asajj is a monster. Also, gets the evasion on top of her attack. And I fear the day I face a Relic 7 Night Sister team. It's just, whew. But yeah, so just again, be careful, choose wisely.
All right. Back to Warrior.
Okay. So a question for Warrior from Jedi Gunny 1216 as well. His question is, I unlocked Watt this TB. What is the best way to mod him? I was thinking speed and health.
Yep, speed and health or speed and tenacity. I went speed and tenacity. I tried to get his tenacity, as close to 125% as possible. I think I'm at 109. You can look it up on my GG account to see, but just as much tenacity as possible. Health and tenacity are the only things that matter other than speed, really, because he's all about just placing those items prior to his death, because he'll probably die first. So he gets the bonus turn at the beginning, so he places that. And then if he's fast, he'll get to go again before he dies and place a second one. So you'll get at least 2 of those abilities placed, if not the third. Depends on the team that you set him with, but he literally could be set with any team and make it better. He's definitely like a Nesta, plug and play, just wherever. Ooh.
Okay.
All right. Next question then for Jedi Master
Gun
Dastra.
Race is back on his way, Finn.
Yep, I know. He was getting his keys and everything.
Yeah.
All right. So question for Jedi Master Dastra from Paparazzi. And the question is, what game mode or modes do you think should additionally reward scrap and signal data now?
Oh, yeah, good question. I was kind of wondering if they're going to make it more accessible, but right now they kind of need to keep it exclusive. Otherwise, again, it's already going to be a gap, but the way they did it, at least it's kind of limited. So I don't know if they're going to add any more. I think did someone already ask that to them directly? I think that they're saying they may not yet, or that might have been for something else. But anyways, I'm thinking like with the new game modes, they might, like we're gonna get another raid down the line. We're gonna get that light side TV. I don't know if they're gonna sneak in some of that for those, just to make it more accessible in general. But it's very farmable right now. I don't know if they're gonna. Instead, they might give like Gear 13 more accessible instead. That seems to be how they do it. When they introduce something brand new, the previous stuff becomes more accessible. This is like the premium new thing. So I think they're gonna touch it right now, like it's it's your Cantina nodes. That's it, or the packs, of course. But I don't think they're gonna touch that yet. They might make everything else boosted up again. The Gear 13 and stuff. But that, until we get new game modes, I don't think they're going to put it into any of the old game modes.
All right.
Okay. Next question then for Warrior from Fat Tony 99, and the question is: how ridiculous is Lightside GOTB going to be tuned because of relics now?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that because I was like, man, Darkside GOTB just came out. It's supposed to be hard for a while, and like instantly overnight, it's going to be easy because we're already getting perfect all the way to the end, and then on the last day is the only day we struggle. That's the only day, and we're getting 4-4 on the last day sometimes. So with relics, there's a lot more 4-4 consistency, and that's where all of the real GP comes from that we're missing. And then of course we dump our rosters and we'll be getting it. So I'm pretty excited about that, but it's kind of like, wow, that's almost trivial already. Because like for the record, I don't even deploy my roster on day 1, 2, and 3. There's only 4 days, and I don't even deploy my roster on the first 3 days, and we get all the stars. So that GP is not even necessary for those first 3 days. So it's kind of almost in my mind at this point trivial, which is kind of crazy to say that the brand newest new game mode that they've given us is at this point trivialized by their own relic system that they've created, because the 31 stars, almost 32 stars we've gotten the last 3 times or whatever, we should be able to easily get 32 and possibly 33 now, all because of relics. And so there is, if they were going to bring Lightside out in the next 30 days, they're either going to delay it or they're probably going to crank that crap up to just some stupid amount. Because think about the GP gains alone. I gained 300,000 over the last 3 days, relicking everything to level 1 relics, and then a couple to level 7. And the GP gains are just astronomical. So I can't imagine what the GP requirements are going to be. And the last time they brought Lightside out first and Darkside was significantly higher, I am positive they'll do the same thing. Darkside is at a certain level and Lightside will be even higher. But honestly, as the relic system, as we start to progress, we'll see characters we need. We'll relic those characters and we'll be able to beat it pretty easily too. PvE content is kind of like that though. They build it to be a certain way, and then their own systems. I just think relics were just introduced a little too fast, because now, unfortunately, like I said, relics are gonna. It was maybe a cash cow for them, but relics are going to just really trivialize all of the content in game that's PvE. And some people, that's the only thing. I honestly, I enjoy Grand Arena in my alt account, but the only thing I enjoy on my main account really is just the PvE content of things. I really enjoy the Darkside GOTB right now. That's kind of where it's at for me. On my alt account, it's more about Grand Arena PvP. So I've got different focuses on different accounts, but on one account, I'm kind of like, man, I don't even deploy my roster anymore on days 1 through 3 because I'm busy, and by the time I get around to it, it's done. And so I'm like, wow, okay, it's almost already trivialized. So yeah, it's going to be cranked up quite a bit. I'm not looking forward to seeing what Lightside looks like, but I am looking forward to what new characters come out. And I just want to kick this out for everyone to think about. The wisest of the wisest person would have bought all those packs if they could afford it, and then not spent anything on anyone. Because the future meta is coming, and that character will have a relic, and I guarantee when you get that future team, you're going to want a relic tier 7, whoever is the strongest on that team, so you can have that edge in Arena over the other people. And I'm not sure people are forward-thinking enough to even think like that, but it's kind of like saving your Zetas. You save your Zetas, 1 or 2 or 3, to make sure that you have some for the future, and a lot of people do that. And now there's these relics, and I can tell you there's probably a new character coming out where he's amazing or she's amazing, but if they're reliced up, they're probably just stupid OP. So I'll be interested to see the future, and it would behoove people to probably, try and build all the materials for a tier 7 relic and then just sit on it.
Indeed.
Since you guys you're thinking you're going to get 33 stars, right? Do you think they introduced it too soon then to trivialize Dark Side TV? Do you think they were?
Yeah, that's exactly my point. Like they just brought that material. We've had it for what, 2 months, something like that.
Yeah,
and now
it's still
like
people
it's over.
are barely unlocking Watt in guilds, and others are far away from even unlocking him. So it's like it seems pretty
I've been
sudden.
busy
Yeah.
This last week, and literally each day there's a special mission for Watt or for the currency, and that's all I've done. I've gone in, done the special mission, donated the day 1 and 2. I just donated everything that I could donate, like out of every team, because I knew I wasn't even going to have time for battles or deployment. And we got perfect 3 of 3 on all 3 of the first days, and I didn't even get to do all the battles or anything. I just went in, did my special mission, or whatever for the currency, or whatever for Watt, or whatever for whatever, but just those. And it's already trivialized on day 1 through 3. The only day that I even have to try is on day 4. Day 4, I got to give it my all because we're not getting the full 33 stars, and that's the day that we're missing our stars. So that's the only day I have to worry about. One day I have to do that, but it's kind of crazy that GOTB is trivialized down for the top 5 guilds to a single day, basically.
But I was gonna say, on the flip side, you are the very, very minority of that, though. So I'm wondering for the lower guild, ones that are still barely, guilds that are getting 5 Watt shards or 10 Watt shards. I think they might be welcome to the relic because of that. That'll help increase their chances to get more stars.
Oh, it will.
It's
not trivializing it for the other people. It will actually make it viable to try. People will actually, other guilds that have been kind of giving up and getting 7 to 9 stars and screw it, let's not do that anymore, and trying to go back now can do this and maybe get the 12 to 16 shards because
exactly. So I think it's a trade-off. The top is just, you guys are so far up there. It's hard to scale something to challenge you guys and then challenge everyone below that. I don't know how they could ever balance that.
Oh, it's super easy. It's just like the Rancor raid. There's tier 1 through 7. You make a GOTB with tiers 1 through 7, and you crank up the damage, and you get different rewards. If you want to try a tier 7, then you get the max capacity rewards. If you're going tier 5, it's dialed down for your guild size, but you are going to get slightly lesser rewards. They've done it in raids. There's no reason why they can't build that tiered system in every other PvE content. It would maybe take a little bit more time to kind of work that out as far as each tier, because it'd be like building, they could simplify it, make it 3 tiers, easy, hard, and insane mode. You know what I mean? They could do that and have 3 different tiers of tier system.
That's something we keep hoping they're going to update Territory Wars. They still have it on the old system that 160 mil is the max.
They're in the box thinking. They're like, hey, we're just going to make it as hard as hell, and we're going to make it for Team Instinct and, challenge them. And then everybody else is like, this is stupid. But, like you said, it's now trivial for us, but now everybody else is like, oh, maybe we have a shot in hell to try and actually get this. So I think if they created a tiered system, it would work. But, these great ideas don't always make their way to the right person that could implement them either. So.
Oh, shit. And they're still having, from a standpoint of CG, they're still having trouble of making sure the buttons work correctly. We still get the stupid disappearing button when you're trying to do a battle. Why?
And I mean, to your guys' point about the TB being easier now, that might be intentional too. That way, somebody, which is probably going to be either Team Instinct or Ma, or maybe both, have Dark Side GOTB at least completed star-wise before they release Light Side GOTB, because they seem to be on track to release Light Side GOTB in the next month or 2, right? So, at least they can say, we've at least somebody's completed this raid, so now here's some new content for you, rather than having something still incomplete.
It's convenient. We can move on.
Yep.
All right. Real quick, we got 150 watching. Can we get some thumbs up in the chat, please, if you wouldn't mind showing your support for the Jedi Academy. We very much appreciate it. And real quick, before we continue on with the questions, Finn, we got a big event on the 24th. I wanted to pimp. We're going to the Children's Hospital of Atlanta. If you want to pimp that real quick for all the fans out there.
Sure. So on September 24th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., we have Eastern time. We have an event set up on our YouTube page. We're going to be at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta in Eggleston, where we will be streaming 4 hours from the playroom of the AFLAC Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. So it's basically the pediatric oncology area for the hospital. We'll be playing games with the kids and live streaming and obviously fundraising for the American Cancer Society. During that stream and leading up to the stream, all of the proceeds that you guys donate to the Tiltify page, which is in the description of that video, and I'll add it to the description of this one as well after. All of the money you guys donate there is going to the American Cancer Society and the Children's Hospital. So they're kind of doing a 50-50 split on all of that. So your money goes both to two really great causes. And we really hope that we can knock out our Tiltify campaign like we did last year. So with your help, we're hoping to make that a big event. So again, September 24th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep. So if you guys haven't already, please go to that event. Give it a thumbs up and lock it in as a notification. We're going to have a 4-hour window, so we're going to need everybody we can to get there, participate, and really help us. I really want to crush this for these kids and stuff. So if you guys could please do that, I'd be very, very much appreciated. All right, let's continue on to Jedi Master Dash. I think she was up next.
Yep. Okay. So for Jedi Master Adastra, question from Paparazzi. Question is, do you think relics alone will save the lamer Jedi, or do they still need a rework?
Yes, it definitely boosts them. So like my Jedi Knight Guardian is a perfect example of that. Like she gained a damage boost, protection boosts, health boosts. So she got elevated. Like I said, I'm gonna work on a video to showcase just the point of these relics are a massive boost. But utility wise, she's still the same character. She has her one AoE and her basic. She's not going to be standing in for Grandmaster Yoda or Jedi Knight Anakin. So yeah, some of these older Jedi could still use some love as far as reworks and updates. Like characters like Mace Windu. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get a rework. It was heavily implied, so I'm hoping he does. Cause he, of a lot of these Jedi that deserve a rework, he deserves one. He's at the top of that list. That's gotta get one. And then characters like Eve Koth and Imagande, that they have nice anti-droid synergies. It'd be kind of cool if they just got a touch up or rework too, and for the light side TV coming up, Kit Fisto, all these lower end Galactic Republic characters, they don't have to get like a full on rework to become good. Because again, as terms of good, people are thinking Arena has to take on the latest Arena team. That's not true. You have Grander Arena and Territory Wars now to make use of a lot of characters. So it'd be nice to just get them elevated up a little in conjunction with these relics. Since these relics boost all their stats, it's like, okay, now you're hitting harder, you have a bigger health pool, or you're dodging, you're tankier, but now you just need a kit that kind of reflects that a little better to make them more viable, that you'd want to put them with your teams more so than before. So it would be nice if a lot, not just Jedi, but like some of these other older characters that have fallen by the wayside, if they just gave them little touch-ups, since these relics, again, have just massive boosts. Now just do some touch-ups with these characters to give them some love, get people to excited for some of this. I mean, I know it's a long shot, but it'd be cool if, one day they just started just touching up a lot of these older characters, getting them more useful in all these game modes. Now that we have a variety, it doesn't have to be the next Arena meta, but it can be a character that's useful as, a territory wars, territory battles, Grand Arena. So I mean, back to the Jedi point though, I'm hoping more will get reworked, touch up, because we're still in this era, the Galactic Republic. We have a lot of Galactic Republic Jedi. I know they won't get to all of them, but I'm hoping we got at least a couple touch-ups, reworks incoming for this new big game mode that's gonna drop. So fingers crossed, some of them get some love.
Durgan is all over you, by the way.
Oh, God. When is Durgan not? Oh,
The
Lord.
correct response at Astra was to yell, "That's a trick question. There are no lame Jedi." Next.
Hey, I love them all, but I can acknowledge some of these Jedi are pretty bad compared to others.
Jedi Consular is going to be my first Relic 7, I'm telling you right now. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna put out a video showing Jedi Guardian kicking butt.
I'm going to put Jedi Consular as the healer on the Padme team. He's already on there. It's actually pretty fun. Okay. So, next question, I think, for good old Maurice, who is here now. Right.
Part-time participant.
Hooray!
Welcome back.
All right.
Sorry.
So, question for good old Maurice from Little Devil says, what happens when the gear runs out? Do you now just have to pay for everything in terms of like the relic conversation and all of that?
Well, and this, we made a video talking about this, and Warrior referenced it earlier. I was listening on the ride. This stuff goes quick. All the stuff you've saved, and then when it's gone, I mean, now you're gonna have to be farming just specifically for things like holo projectors full time just to make relics. So I mean, I guess then it really will slow down. It's just everyone's out of the gate because we all have so much stuff. We all have so much junk laying around right now. 6 months from now, that junk's gonna be gone, and it's gonna be really every single relic level is gonna be a grind. It's gonna be tough to get them up to even relic 3, relic 4. I mean, you're gonna have to farm pretty specific things that more than likely most of your characters aren't even needing anymore because you progress past that point. You're just gonna be farming for relics, so it's something to keep in mind. Yeah, I would really take this slow and just kind of see. I mean, the meta changing is a perfect. Well, that was a great discussion point there. I mean, if it changes, you guys blow your all your goodies on the Sith Empire, you're gonna be behind. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out for late game. Weird thing too is it might be good for veteran players to pay attention to what's happening to the newer players now too, right? Because newer players, especially and I think Warrior, you have a little advantage on this too with your Scissorman account for those that are playing like a newer account. I think you might have the best idea come in like a month or two on how to manage the resources between like farming and relics versus a lot of veteran players who might have stuff finished and don't feel the gear crunch yet, as they will in a couple months. So I think it'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out.
I'll definitely be more laser focused on my Scissorman account than my main account.
All right. So next question for Warrior from Big Country Mags. And his question is, did anyone notice the little things they added in the game, such as game volume controls, Zeta notifications in guild chat, or the instant upgrade buttons? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's awesome that they did those quality of lives. And then there's some other quality of lives they did, like putting the daily activity rewards completed at the top instead of the bottom of your daily activities, which is freaking annoying. Or the assault battle we did today with a Dooku at a level 1 Cure 1 with a single health bar. I mean, there's a lot of bugs now because of this quality of life update that they've pushed. The newest version has a bunch of things. I've been sending them messages about everything that is like wrong with the game right now. It's hard to call them like bugs, but because some of it's not bugs, but some of it is bugs. It's like just annoying things that have now changed just because of what they've done. I mean, like the daily activity rewards thing now being at the top is kind of annoying. So the yellow tag, they changed it to like a see-through white tag, where if you click it, your favorites, and it's on or off, it's like see-through white with a white exterior or solid white with a see-through exterior. It's like hard to tell whether your favorites is tagged on or off. I've missed a ton of gear because of this. It's like not necessarily, a good thing. The finding the mod in place, trying to get to your trying to get to your mods now. It's like the you got to click into your mods, and then you have to kind of go backwards to like get to your mod loadouts, where before it was forwards, and now you got to go backwards. So that's kind
that
of like,
one is very annoying. Like,
yeah, it's kind of it's okay. It's just kind of hard to to do that, and then like for newer players, how do you level a character up? Like, there's no find on shards anymore or anything. You have to just intuitively know you're supposed to click the stars on the character, and if you click the stars on the character, it takes you to farming that character. So once you figure it out, you figured it out. But did they work that into their like tutorial at the beginning? Because new people might be like stuck at single star characters forever because they can't figure out how to find new shards for them without going onto the board and looking for them that way. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's been a lot of quality
tiny. I think, like, for whatever reason, because they
and like the battle timer, I can't even hardly read the battle timer anymore. It's like infinitely smaller, and I have no idea why. And then like if you're on like 4 of 6 or 5 of 6 on the battles, it's so super tiny on the top. So like, yes, there's quality of life updates, but they also did a bunch what I think they thought were quality of life updates that are terrible. I think the yellow tag needs to come back. Like, there's a reason why McDonald's and Burger King and every other fast food restaurant in the world uses red and yellow. There's a reason. There's a reason why Arnold T101 uses yellow on every single go back and look. He uses it on every single thing that he puts out for his thumbnails. There's a reason. It's eye-catching. There's a natural tendency to go towards those things. And I'm not the only one that feels this way about a lot of these things. So they've definitely got to kind of dial some of this quality of life back, because some of it was like they thought right, or they thought good or well-intentioned, but it just kind of backfired and isn't working out so well.
Well, shoot, on Reddit, I think one of the top posts, like there's multiple of them, is for that tag, the favorites tag, to go back to that nice bright yellow. I think there's like a ton of threads that were made just to, why did you change it? Change it back. So hopefully they'll listen, because I feel like a lot of the player base, I don't know why they changed it in the first place. Like, the yellow seemed okay. Were people complaining about the yellow? That one made no sense. And then just the navigation. Like, they just, I don't know what they're trying to do.
Defaulted, which is annoying on my free-to-play account, is when you go to farm anything, if there's a pack for it default shows you the pack first. And then you have to scroll and find the Cantina battle or the light side or dark side node to the left or to the right. Like, you have to scroll all the way to the right or all the way to the left. Like, it doesn't default to the node like it used to. It used to default to the node and then packs would be to the right. It's still built like that, but now when it lands you on the pack as if that's the only option. And if you don't know to scroll left or right, you won't even know there is other options, because you'll just see the packs and you'll be like, oh wow, that's not available anymore. This is happening, and it's so annoying on my free-to-play account, because I'm having to scroll left or right now on every single farm of every single thing to try to find something that's not pack related, to make sure I can actually farm that character. It's kind of causing confusion on things. I was like, wasn't this farmable? And then I'm like scrolling, I'm like, oh, it is still farmable. Oh, okay, it's over here. Like, why? Don't do that.
All right. Next question, Dr. Finn.
All right. So, question for Jedi Master Adastra from Strum. And the question is, realistically, I will only be able to get relics to relic level 5. Will that be enough to maintain my current level of top 40 in arena and top 2 in fleet?
And what was that last part? Top 2 in fleet?
In fleet. Yep.
Okay, I see. Well, fleet, that's, I am dreading that, because, the ships, they all get the speed boosts now as you relic your characters. So, if it's the Akbar versus Akbar, it's a speed game of, is your Bastan or your Akbar or your Falcon who's going to move first there. So in that regard, if people are going in on that, you're going to notice a shift in your arena, in your fleet arena, big time, because of the speed values of, the mirror matches. It's purely a speed game. But thankfully, you can do comps to work around that, like having your Houndstooth there, having Sumac there to help just to survive that initial barrage. So depending where you look in your arena, keep an eye on that, of course, since you're at the top. So you'll see right away if people are going in on that, if this ship, that this team you were easily beating now just defeats you because they all move first. So you'll have to kind of watch that and be careful. But again, you can slot in other ships, so you don't have to go in on that to counteract that. I mean, depending how competitive your shard is too, you might be only dropping to the 20s if people are going in. Like, I'm not sure how tough your shard is. I mean, so in general, and then your squad arena, that's gonna be, I feel like, the bigger shakeup one in the sense of all these different characters that you're gonna be able to use. So like, I don't know, are you like primarily using your Darth Revan team right now versus other Darth Revans? You said you're top 50, so you might be like mods may not. I don't know what your situation is then, as terms to the top teams, if you're able to climb up there for lack of mods or just overpowering. So I feel like that'll be your focus because you're already top, 5 in your fleet. So now you just got to focus on your squad arena to get up there too. Like, it sounds like you're working your way up. So to your point, Relic 5 does give substantial boosts. Like, it is, you'll be able to roll a lot of teams still. Again, it depends on what you're running. So like how I was saying earlier, just the Relic Anakin is enough. So you don't need the Relic Anakin. The Darth Revan team, however, like the fully Relic Darth Revan team doesn't seem as impactful as these other ones. Like, because General Grievous, a Relic General Grievous is the same. And on that point, Relic 3 Grievous is still destroying stuff. If you have that team, this droid suicide team with T3, a Relic 3, Relic 4 Grievous is still going to get the job done. So if you're struggling and you have that team, Grievous will be the one to help make your climbs easier because he doesn't have to be Relic 7 to destroy. You'll get away with Relic 4, Relic 5, no problem, because of just the insane boosts. And then if you have T there adding in on the damage increase, the defense can. You don't have to have that data. You do have to have the crit damage increase one at least. But in terms of that, again, it would just depend on your arena situation. Like, I'm just going off of that. If you're at 50s, that means it sounds like you might be struggling. So look at these other teams. Like, you may not be able to compete with your Darth Revan versus their Darth Revan, but if you can build the Grievous team or a Padme team or a Jedi Knight Revan team, that's going to be better in the long run because of all these boosts. Like, where one character is enough to overcome a whole Darth Revan Relic team. So kind of look at it in that regard. Like, the shift, the Darth Revan meta is going to end, fingers crossed. So I would need more specifics to give you for sure, but that's kind of the general. I hope that helps. I hope you kick butt. Good luck.
All right. So, next question for good old Maurice, who I'm assuming is still here, not on a phone call.
Yeller.
Yeah. Question from Fatoni99. And his question is, I've almost got my Malik to Relic 5. Is it worth it to go all the way to 7? Or should I start raising up the Relic levels for the rest of my arena team? And if so, how high should I take the rest of the team?
Well, if you get your Malik to 5, okay. So play with it for a day or two and see, just play with it. And if you're still winning, I don't think there's really a need to continue to improve it. I'm kind of on the team that if you don't need extra help in your character arena, then just save the relics, put them elsewhere. Save them. I've got my Malik to 3, and I would take it back now, but I took the rest of the characters to 1. And I'm not having any problems against higher relic characters. Granted, I do have a mod advantage over most of the people, but I would do whatever's needed to maintain your position or improve your position. Like if you're in the 50s or 100s, then maybe you'll have to go a little higher, and so you get up into the top 50, the top 20, the top 10, 5. So I would just do the bare minimum needed to succeed in arena.
All right. So next question is from What Else 73 for Warrior. And the question is, so from my perspective, it seems that the General Grievous Suicide Team is the exact same function as the old-fashioned weak zombie tactic that CG changed. What are your thoughts on that ever changing?
I don't see it changing. So, yeah.
Well, the difference is you need a Zeta for Grievous for that to work. You know, so I mean, it's a little different.
Yeah, T3 needs the Zetas too, right? Potentially.
Yeah, so 3 Zetas you need. Yeah, so.
And it's not characters you want to die. Like the other one was just zombie that needed to die, right? So it's different because there's more of an investment, even if you're trying to get them to die to trigger a Grievous type thing. Okay. I'll give you another question here, Warrior, from Paparazzi. And her question is, how much hoarded prestige is too much? I basically have 6,000 hoarded, and I have maxed all of the existing capital ships besides Kenobi. Should I keep buying or get credits now?
Oh, just credits. I just got Kenobi's ship maxed out, and I'm at like 4,400 for the capital ships. I'm just like, why do I have so much? So yeah, I would not worry about it. I would just start going for credits. Credits, you can't have enough credits. You could have 300 million credits, and that's not enough. I mean, just wait till the level cap increase, you know, that I said wouldn't happen for a while, all of a sudden pops its head up in like 3 weeks, and everybody's like scrambling to try and get credits. They just do things like this. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't have thought that they would have done the relic thing so quickly, but they did. So, you know, if this relic thing kind of peters out because nobody can get more than 4 characters leveled up, you know, people are going to get bored with it, and then they're going to go, well, I guess let's raise the cap and make people buy credits. I don't know. So credits.
Is there a credit point, Warrior, where you would just say, just save them as arena tokens instead of cashing them in, and then you can just pivot to prestige if for whatever reason they drop a bunch all of a sudden, or if you need credits, you can always cash them in, or do you always just switch them to credits?
I just buy credits 100% of the time. I mean, I did prestige until I had 4K because I wanted to have enough for 2 capital ships because it's like 1980 for a capital ship. So I got to like 4K and I was like, I'm good. Well, now I had like 6,000 by the time the negotiator came out. So just of natural, you know, increases through the events. And I'm like, my God, you know, like we definitely don't need any more of this. So even if they brought up multiple capital ships at one time, I could max them all out at one time just because I'm way over prepared for that. So yeah, I'm credits all the way. That's all I do with that. It's just credits. And I hover around 150 million, you know, credits, and I'm trying to get higher, but you know, sometimes you'll find a good mod or a new character comes out that, you know, costs, you know, 6 million to upgrade or something. So.
Oh, and sorry, I'll tag something else to that too, because we just had a comment in chat, which is an interesting one, and I don't know if you would recommend this. Would you recommend converting your arena tokens into shard shop currency for gear?
I was just gonna mention that.
Oh, well, do it, Adastra. You can mention it.
Adastra, what do you think?
If you have a ton of credits already, and not with the gear crunch that may or may not happen for people, that's another resource to help in that effort. So if you already have your prestige, already have your credits, you know, why not? Every bit helps now. Into the shard shop you can buy. There's some good gear in there. It's another option for sure.
There's just so many other stores that you can do that
though,
with.
yeah, do you feel if, say, someone was hurting on prestige credits and the gear, then it's a little harder of which one do you prioritize?
Go ahead, Warrior.
I was just going to say there's so many other stores you can convert to shard shop currency, basically every other store. So I'm not sure I see the value in taking a finite resource like credits and giving them up for what I can get from every other store. I mean, you might get a tiny bit more gear, but it doesn't overweigh the need for credits, in my opinion.
There you go. All right. So next question for Jedi Master Adastra. Question from What Else 73, and his question is: when facing a Newt-led team, should you cleanse the extortion or leave it, or is there a certain amount of turns it can stay before you should cleanse it?
Oh yeah, Good question. I've kind of experimented with this as I've tried different counters, like against a Grievous Newt team or the new Dooku whatever teams. And you can get away with, you don't have to worry about it right away. So it also depends on the newt itself. Sometimes the newt is really slow or they're really fast. So if he's super fast, you have to be more careful because it'll accumulate rapidly before you even know it, because it's also, if he has the Zeta too, it's way more dangerous. So like kind of comes down to priority, what you're using to take it on. So like sometimes your special will be more important than the cleanse off the extortion, and you can get away without worrying about it in the first in the early part of the match. You don't want to leave it there too long though, because you'll just die. So you can get away with not worrying about it initially. Use your specials, take down whoever's on the team. You might even kill Newt before. Again, it just depends on the whole team comp. But yeah, you're safe to not worry about it initially. You just got to keep an eye on, like how's your team doing, and then the team you're against. So there's a few variables in there, but you can ignore it initially, and you'll be safe usually. So.
All right. Next question for good old Maurice. Question from Matthew 1908. And the question is, besides Grievous at the current state, would it be better to have a single Gear 13 Relic 7 tune or a squad, for example, 3 of them at Gear 13 Relic 5?
This is a dilemma I'm facing myself. Like, do you want to go through and really just deck out one character for all your Grand Arena teams, or do you just want to make just a screaming good one and just stick it right in the front? I don't know what's going to be the best play here. I mean, personally, I'm leaning towards the, all in on a character. Just kind of do one character at a time. And, or like if your arena team is kind of falling behind, you can maybe deck, Darth Revan, Bastila, maybe put 1 or 2 levels on them to keep up. But I think initially here I'm leaning towards the, superstar character. We'll see though. Don't take that advice very, grain of salty. That's we'll see. They've been out for 3 days. I'm being very, 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 very cautious with my resources. I usually go nuts and stuff like this, and I haven't done much at all with them. So, yeah, I like 5s a lot. 5s is very, very intriguing to me. Like you can't kill 5s. So you're forced to almost kill another character, or you might accidentally kill another character first, and then 5s is going to die and just fuel so much, just so many stats across the board. Yeah, I was getting sidetracked. My bad. So,
no, that's true. Depending on which character makes a big difference too. So, right. Okay. So back up to the top to Mr. Warrior. Question from Little Devil. And the question is, I just got into Division 2 in Grand Arena Championships, and I am up against a player with 52 Gear 13 characters. Are they still working on the matchmaking, or will this just work out with relics?
It should kind of work itself out over time, because individuals with relics are going to just skyrocket and be paired up with them. Remember, their matchmaking is your whatever division you are, however many characters you can use on offense and defense, that's all they use. So the top, so if it's like 60 or 80 or whatever you have, it's probably 80 for you. Your top 80 for top 40 for defense, top 40 for offense, kind of thing. And that's all they're looking at. And your GP, whether you realize it or not, is very comparable to the person you're with. Within a really, really, really close range. So if they've got that many and you don't, that means you probably have a massive Zeta advantage, because Zetas are similar to Gear 13. So you probably have the Zeta advantage over their Zeta advantage, or you've got more 60 mods than they have, and so your GP's higher for that purpose on those particular characters. Maybe you got better modding or better Zetas, but I've looked at a lot. I've had a number of people say, oh, this is unfair, and I've looked at it, and after I look at it every single time, 100% of the time, I'm like, nope, you can do this. Very easily, you're matched up very fairly. So while it's something that we can kind of look at and go, well, that doesn't seem fair. I think that's all superficial until you go into there. I think you're going to be fine. Don't worry about that so much. Is just stick with what you know. Set the teams you know are solid defenses for yourself, and keep yourself enough offensive teams you can clear whatever they could throw at you, worst case scenario. There will be some disadvantages from time to time. It happens. I personally experience this all the time, so I get it. It's not a perfect system, but I think it's far better than it ever was, and I think that they've dialed in good enough that there's a few small tweaks left, but not a whole lot. And I hope that Relics, like I said, really work this out, because anyone that goes crazy on Relics, they're going to put themselves in a whole nother division, and then they may have some really great Relic characters, but then they're going to have a disadvantage because they won't have all of the Zetas and Gear 13 and 60 mods and blah, blah, blah. So GP's GP, whether you like it or not, it'll put you into the next category. So I think you'll be all right.
All right. So next question for Jedi Master Dastra. The question is from Kane77. And the question is, I have been hoarding gear. Should I keep doing that as I feel something is about to come soon?
Oh yeah, that's a safe thing to do right now, because we know things are coming. We just don't know when yet. Like, we know a lot of new characters are gonna drop, but the time frame, it's like it could be next week, could be 2 weeks. It's hard to say. So definitely hoard, but at the same time, don't hurt your progress if you are still needing to work on an important character. Like if you're working on something for Dark Side TV, maybe to help your guild, or Territory Wars, Grand Arena. So like, obviously don't go on a spree and exhaust your resources. But if you have more than enough of something, you can use it on a key character. So like some people just hoard way more than you need. Like, and to me, that just seems wasteful. Like if you're hurting the progress on a character when you have more than enough to spare, it's okay to use it. You're gonna be all right. But absolutely, yeah. Right now, hoard up to the point of that's feasible. Like if you have like 1,000 carbs or something ridiculous, then that's overkill. But if have a little bit of gear here, a little bit of gear there, wait, see what the new characters are gonna need. The same thing with Zetas. It's usually safe to have at least 2 Zetas standing by. I mean, even 1 Zeta, if you just have only 1 extra Zeta, that's okay too, because the Zeta rate is so much more friendly now. Thank God for the guaranteed Zeta drops. I'm still haunted by my weeks of zeros in those challenges. So I'm very thankful. It's ones across the board. So nice seeing, knowing you're gonna get a Zeta. Like, oh, I'm at 39 Zeta meds. Woo! I'm getting one from challenges. Woohoo! Like, it's such a nice feeling that it's guaranteed. And then depending how you're doing in Territory Wars, Grand Arena. So the Zeta accumulation has been a bit better in that regard. So again, you can kind of plan it out, because you can see ahead, like, how are you doing in Grand Arena as far as that Territory Wars, and then the challenges. So it's pretty easy to map out your Zeta accumulation rate, and then, guessing when a new character is going to drop. So you can kind of approach it the same way with gear. Like, you can kind of tell, like, a character is going to need this gear, that gear. And we all know they're going to need that new, X amount of that new gear is the tough part, the Chirotechs. So it's a matter of how many of those pieces are they going to need. But, like stun guns, stun cuffs, carbs, you should be okay in the hordes of those, because again, just the access to these pieces is friendly as well, from the raids, from all the events, the shard store. So in general, you can build up a stockpile pretty good, as long as you just don't randomly blow it all up now with the relics. That you're relicing the character, and you're like, oh, I want to relic this one. I got to max out the character, relic him, and then you're burning up your salvage from the scavenger. So you kind of have to, if you're in that spot where you don't have a ton of resources to spare, yeah, definitely be more careful. Hold everything. Just kind of wait and see. and then you'll be able to just hit the ground running as soon as something drops. And then you can go on your spending spree.
PSA, don't salvage your Chirotex. They're just saying.
Oh, yeah, for sure. God.
And they give you the option for it too, but yeah, don't do it. Okay, good old Maurice.
Unless you're like one of those scary people that has like a ton of those, and you're like, meh.
Yeah, no, farm something else. Okay, good old Maurice. Next question to you.
Sorry, I gotta get going.
Oh, okay. You have time for one quick fun question?
Oh, is this a Durgan question?
It is not a Durgan question, actually.
Oh, he's slacking.
Oh no, he commented on your lame Jedi thing earlier, so he made his mark.
That doesn't count.
All right. So this question's from Berarius Aegon, and he just wanted to know, how are your Jedi relics coming along?
Oh, yeah, they're coming along good. I mean, I analyzed it at first of who to go for. You know, Anakin was a no-brainer. I'm very happy with that one. And then Grandmaster Yoda. And like I said, Guardian was my fun one, but I'll still be able to use her. So it's not, for me, it wasn't a complete waste. You know, for anyone else in the game, it's probably a waste.
How long on your Lumi?
Along good. I'm sorry?
How long on your Lumi?
I was going to say, yeah, now the other fun ones, they'll be behind a bit. So like Lumi, she'll be down the line. So oh yeah, there's that person that they beat me to a
Explorer Binthager. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sure
I'm
he's
expecting
waiting.
they're gonna Relic 7 her. But other ones, like I'm working up Kenobi right now. He's next on my list. I mean, him and Varys, because they both get such insane health boost, protection boost, just and they get to go on multiple teams. So I'm kind of looking out at that, a Jedi that I can throw on different teams. So yeah, I'm steadily building them up. My down long way into the future, I'll have the Relic 7 Jedi, but nowhere anytime soon. Like, because of the rate of acquiring a relic, yeah, it's gonna be a long time.
Mhm.
Which for me, I don't mind that. That gives me a long time to work towards something, But yep, I'm definitely, don't you worry, my Jedi, they are getting some love for sure. And having fun kicking butt with them. Looking forward to the light side PV to kick more butt. I'll solo a phase with them.
All right, and on that note, that is Jedi Master Adastra.
Jedi rule!
All right.
All right, have a good one, you guys.
All right. Good old Maurice, next question is for you from Matthew, 1908. And his question is, I skipped on building the Grievous nuke team. I went all well for me in Arena and GAC, though. I could do that now, but it feels like a lot of waste with relics. What are your thoughts?
If you haven't started or don't have that team, I think it's a little late. I would probably skip that team. Because who knows what's going to come out in 2 weeks from now? Like with all these relics we have at our disposal now, there's more than likely going to be several teams that can beat Darth Revan now. You just need the right components, and I would rather be on the cutting edge than trying to play catch up with another team, if that makes any sense. Save some resources, kind of plan. Do maybe save resources and plan on needing to take one key character to at least Relic 5 to make a certain team in the future work. That way you can just jump right on it and have it, and more than likely it's not going to be as Zeta intensive as that Grievous team. That nuke team, you need some obscure Zetas, and that's once this team kind of dissolves and I use Grievous elsewhere, I don't really know what I'm going to do with a really decked out T3. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that 2 Zeta investment. It's probably going to be, hanging out with my farm boy Luke and Cody. You know what I mean? So it's I would wait. I would. It's pretty lame. I'm just preaching caution and patience every question, but that's really how I feel.
No, I think that's fair, given that relics are so new and we still have to see kind of the impact on a bunch of different characters as well as play. So I think that's a wise decision right now. All right. Next question for Warrior from NR Wilson. And the question is, you mentioned to relic characters to relic 1, 3, 5, and 7. And he says, would you say that you would want to relic your arena team to 7, ships to 5, R3 for arena, and then R1 for non-arena? So I'm assuming GAC type teams.
Okay, so the reason why I said that is you get GP boosts at 3, 5, and 7. And those GP boosts put you in new tiers specifically for ships, which will give you ship stat additions. So when you're doing tier relics specifically to try and boost your ship, you can't stop at 2. You have to do 3 on that character to get any kind of a boost. And then when you go past 3, you can't stop at 4. You got to go to 5. For everything else, it does not matter. Every single tier gives you more stats, gives your character stronger. So for any character in the game, do whatever you want. Go however you want. If they're specifically a crew member, you have to hit tier 3 first to get anything, tier 5 second to get the next level up, and tier 7. Kind of like ability mats, you had to do all your ability mats at a certain level before you would get the next GP gain, so on and so forth. So, yeah, it does. You don't have to use that tier system for anything other than crew members.
All right. So next question for good old Maurice. Question is from Kurtman, and the question is: as a recently retired Dolphin, should I invest in the $30 pack for the Kairos, stun gun, carbs, golden balls, and cup?
Well, Warrior is probably the better guy to ask for this, but I will.
Now we're asking you. You answer the question.
I don't know.
Damn Carolina person.
Man, relax. I will
kill you.
Break down each of those gear pieces for their individual crystal value. That pack seems to be a pretty good deal if you do indeed purchase gear for crystals. I think that pack is probably one of the better ones in there. Again, if you do spend crystals on gear. I mean, the Cryotechs alone are almost $20 worth of gear, and then I think you got a full stun gun, a stun cuff, a gold eyeball, which is, I mean, it's got a street value. You guys can't even see me doing air quotations. That was dumb, but it's got a street value. It's got a street value of 2,000 in the store, which is a ripoff because I mean
what do you got? What do you got?
Challenge, but
I got some stun guns. What do you need? I don't know. I just need something. I'm hurting, man.
I just love that. Black market Kairotex with good old Maurice.
Yeah, with air quotes you guys can't see. So
yeah. Because when I think of the streets, I think of good old Marines in Carolina.
Hey man, I got your stun guns.
Come on, baby, I'm hurting.
All right. Next question for Warrior from SithLore72. And he says, as a free-to-play player, is it better now to take a character to Gear 13 and then relic them to 3 or 4 and then move on to the next character in that faction and so on?
Yeah, for free-to-play, you're going to have to pick specific characters. Tanks, in my opinion, are the second best relic characters to relic because tanks get pretty amazing. The first best character to relic is an attacker. You can see this in General Grievous. You can see this in Anakin. You can see this in any attacker. They go from being great to being just a one-shot power monster, So Wampa's the same way. So Nest is the same way. There's just specific. If you're free to play, screw everything but attackers. Focus on attackers only, because you're not going to be able to focus on much. And focus on the highest DPS, percentage DPS attacker you have per faction. And take them to a minimum of tier 3, and you're going to notice a huge difference. And then you can move on to the next attacker. Try and get each one to tier 3 is real easy, actually. It's not bad at all. It takes like 2-3 days max if you're using your Cantina energy for it, and then you can move back from Cantina energy to characters you're farming. I gave up 2 days of character farming to get my Yoda, my first Gear 13, to Relic tier 3. He's hitting for like 70 on his basic now. I'm able to fight the Darth Revan teams with no problem whatsoever. Stay top 20, really pretty easy. It's just the Malik teams I'm still struggling with. And I've got a Gear 12 team with not the superior mods. So attackers just really go from like one level to the very next level. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get my Anakin. He's Gear 11. I'm going to go ahead and put him back in my favorites on my alt account, and I'm going to focus on getting him to my next Gear 13 so I can relic him to like level 3 or 4, probably 3, and I'm going to put him in my team, and hopefully that'll be the difference maker between me and the Malik teams, because my Malik teams aren't like all tweaked out like they are on my main account. They're all like newbie guys that don't really know how to mod yet, and not sure what they've got. And they've got like a 5-star or a 6-star, gear 10 or gear 11. So Malik's powerful now, but when I get my Anakin up, it won't be. So they're difference makers, they're game changers. You just got to pick a strategy and stick with it. And I've got Jedi Knight Revan. I don't have Darth Revan. I'm a minimum of 3 months away from Darth Revan, and I'm like at least 3 months away, possibly 6 months away from Malik, probably 6 months away from Malik. So my strategy is what beats Malik? Well, Anakin gear 13. So, that's my strategy. One character strategy. You're free to play, one character strategy. Get your General Grievous, get your Anakin, get whatever it is that's an attacker that can take your team from good to great. Nest is one of those characters as well. Clones are a new thing. If you were focusing on clones because you were just silly and you didn't know what you were doing, but now all of a sudden you have a bunch of gear 11 clones, take your Echo to level 3 gear 13, tier 3 relics, and watch him AoE for 100k every time he AoEs, and he gets cooldown reductions and gets to use that almost every single turn. And he's just smoking fools, and put Rex as the leader or whatever. It's crazy what's available now to free to play. You just have to focus on something, figure out what it is and go. The thing is, there's like 8 factions that are now viable in Arena, as long as you have a couple, 1 or 2 characters you're willing to take into the relic stages.
All right. So next question is for good old Maurice from Paparazzi. And her question is, how does Watt's AI work? Who will it put the first tech on and when?
I just unlocked Watt.
I did too.
12 hours ago. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to not even going to try to skirt out of that one. I don't know. I do know that it will, if you're using 2 tanks, it will give that buff to the healthiest one. And I think it will give the regeneration one to your weakest character overall. I'm sorry, I don't know.
I already figured it out and forgot, but I believe if my memory serves me correct, it always goes the tank buff first, the attacker buff second, the support buff third. That's how it goes every single time. I'm pretty positive. So.
Do you know who it will target? The support? Does it, like the attacker buff? Does it automatically pick the highest offense every time?
Yeah, it picks the highest health and protection. Then the second time he goes, he picks the highest DPS, and then the third time he picks the support. And I don't know how he picks the support, but I'm pretty positive that's exactly how it goes. We figured it out when we first got him, 6 weeks ago, and we were practicing with him or whatever. And now he's just kind of like a filler character. We're just like whatever. We throw them in different teams to throw people off, but I'm pretty positive it was tank, attacker, support. Is how those 3 get played.
Cool. Okay.
All right. So let me give you a different question here, good old Maurice. Question from Paparazzi, and her question is: won't a completely Relic 7 Sith Empire team be completely unstoppable?
I'm beating them with my Gear 5 or Relic 5 Grievous. My nuke team is working still against the 7 relic characters. So will that remain to be the case? Maybe. I mean, people just got all these relics, so now that you've got these gear relic 7s now, that will require kind of a different mod strategy. Some of the mods that you might have on your characters might not be optimal. Like we might see people starting to shave things off, like their Darth Revan, and go for more offense-oriented percentage, like secondaries and stuff, maybe over speed, and just Darth Revan's in there swooping in for 75k basics. That you've got yourself a problem. The AOE on that nuke team, if somebody were to maybe take 30 speed off of Darth Revan and really deck him out with offense, I mean, it's not out of the realm possibility that AOE from Darth Revan will neutralize 3 of your characters instantly on that team, and just that's 2 turns lost for Grievous. So we'll see. We'll see if that team remains
Marauder
relevant.
Hits stupidly.
You know what I mean? Like all it takes is 1 AOE from that, like a HK's bomb that could kill BB-8, that could kill IPD, that could kill 88 all in 1 turn. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh.
Like, wait a minute.
I hope I can kill the entire team with 1 AOE because I'm out of options. So we'll see.
All right. And then the last question before we jump into fun questions for Warrior. Question from Fat Tony 99. He says, "What does the instant upgrade button actually do? I was drunk last night and thought I was promoting
Oh,
Rose Tico's star level, but apparently the button didn't do that."
Yeah, so that's like I said, the UI is now confusing, especially to people that are inebriated. But or new players, I guess apparently they're the same. But the upgrade button, basically, if you have all 6 pieces fully crafted and you can genuinely get them all put in at once, instead of going through and having to click 6 different pieces and hit, attach, or whatever, you can just hit that one button once and it goes to the next level of gear. For promoting the character, you have to click the little icon in stars to the right, where it has the little dial, the little colored dial around the head that shows you your progress. You have to click that to actually level up stars. Yeah. So, yep, you upgraded Rose Tico to the next gear level, it sounds like.
All right. I regret that Zeta so much now, but at least it was for charity at the time. Okay, so a couple of around the corn questions. First one from Shadow Veil. We'll start with Warrior. What is everyone farming during double drops? So Warrior, what are you farming?
I'm farming the same stuff I've always farmed on my alt account. I'm just farming characters, and I did do the Cantina the last couple of days for the pieces to get my Yoda to gear the Relic tier 3, which was crazy because he's at like 8,500 offense, which is awesome. He's at that high already, and he's only Relic tier 3. I'm excited to see what he's like at tier 5 because that's my goal: get him to tier 5 and then quit for the relics for a while because I got to get my other characters out of Cantina. On my main account, I'm not really like focusing on farming anything specific. I fark. That's what I do. I fark. I focus on ship energy goes towards the Gear 12 plus pieces. That you need like 50 of, because those are actually dropping really good right now. And then I did double drops on those because that's just what I always farm. It just happened to be double drops. For regular energy, I'm focusing on the pieces that you need to get people to Gear 13, and that's double dropping, which is giving the drop rate that we had when they first launched those. Versus, I get there like double drops. I'm like, oh great, we got the drop rate that we had when we started. That's awesome. Thank you for taking something away and then giving it back to us. It's like starving a child, giving them a piece of bread and going, see how much food we give you? And you're like, no, thank you. I'm not going to die. Yeah, that's basically the analogy I like to think about. But so it's just the same stuff that I'm farming. I'm trying to get 3 characters to Gear 13, and I'm getting 3 other characters relics up. So, Cantina stuff, farming Cantina. The problem with Cantina is you can do 3 refreshes and still only get enough to get a character to one character to relic from relic 1 to relic 2. That's it. And then if you want to get that single character to relic 3, it takes an entire day worth of Cantina and sometimes the next day's entire worth of Cantina to get that one character to relic 3. And that's just tier 3. That's not even like tier 4 or 5. So and then after 5, like 6 and 7, kiss that goodbye. There's not even hope. I have a boss at tier 5, and I want to take him to tier 7 for ships. And tier 6 requires a specific piece, and I try to go and break down pieces, and it's all Gear 12 plus. I'm like, what? I got to get rid of all my Gear 12 plus? Like, I don't even have any of that. Like, there's hardly any in there. Like, inventory-wise, I don't even have enough to get the 20 pieces I need to get a 1 character to tier 6. I can't even do it. And I'm like, whale Kraken dude, and I can't even do it. So I would have to go, like, farm or buy Gear 12 plus to convert it for this 1 friggin' piece. So it just seems now I'm like, never mind 5. You're gonna stay at 5, buddy. So.
You're gonna like it too.
Ghetto Maurice, what are you farming during double drops?
For the regular energy, recently they changed some of the left side Gear 12 gear, like the gold med pack components and like the God, what's that thing called? Some of the newer, the left side gear, you can get some of that out of the light and dark side. I've been doing that, trying to get some med packs ready. And then on the fleet stuff, I've just been farming, the raid gear, the stuff that you get from the raid. I'm trying to take the characters from, 12.5 to 13. So just kind of getting everything I can from these. Not paying really too much attention. I don't really have any specific goals in mind. I'm trying to get Cody this last piece, but that's going to take some time. Just kind of using the energy they give us. So.
All right.
Cryotex is a good suggestion. A lot of guys said that.
That's
in the
what
chat.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's a great suggestion.
Yep.
For
Cryotex are what I'm working on.
Yeah.
All right. Next question for Around the Corn. We'll start with Goto Maurice this time. Question from Rubber Duck Mafia. And he says, wouldn't it have been a better move by CG to place the signal data on stage 9 mod battles and slightly lower the drop rate?
But if there's one thing in this game you can never have enough of, it's going to be mods. Like I would have been super upset had I had to make the decision between mod salvage and signal data. Like the relics are very, very in-game, is very, very in-game content, and the in-game content players have the majority, if not all, of the characters out of Cantina. So this is something for them to do. Because I don't know about you guys, but every day I didn't refresh. There's no reason for me to refresh Cantina ever, but now there is. So they're actually, I think that was a wise move to put them there. Because before I just used whatever the game gave me, get my crew in his ship shards and convert it to shard shop currency. Now, I'm feeling a little pressure. I need to refresh Cantina maybe a couple times a day to keep up with the signal data. So it's getting a couple hundred extra crystals out of me personally every day.
That's interesting. Mine would be the opposite, though. I'm already filled up on mods so much that if I don't get mods every now and then, I'm okay with it. I still have characters I need to finish from Cantina. So it hurts me more to have to decide between relics and characters based on where my roster is than having to decide between relics and mods. I would easily pick relics over mods in a heartbeat right now because I have way too many mods as it is, and I'm not necessarily worried about them. But characters, I still need to finish GBA. He's almost 7-star. I need to work on Ebon Ha, who's getting close to 7 stars here, and who knows what else they'll add into Cantina anytime soon. So, for me, I would rather have it on mods than on Cantina because I need my Cantina for characters.
All right.
But yeah, I think it varies based on where you are in your roster too. So
100%, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a fair point. Okay. Fun questions for really quick. We'll start running through these and then we'll wrap up here. First question from Paparazzi. What are your interests outside of Galaxy of Heroes? Borderlands 3 for me.
Man, that game looks fun, man. I might have to scoot on up to the GameSpot after this stream and
really
get
fun.
me a copy. It looks pretty cool, man.
It is. It's so much fun. Warrior, any interests outside of Galaxy of Heroes besides fighting mountain lions, which we got a lot of comments on from last
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say I wanted to fight a mountain lion. I just said you guys said if I had to. So I had to pick
the question was if you
an animal. Yeah, exactly. And so
Well,
whatever.
you could have picked any animal, and Warrior went with the
better
mountain
than a
lion.
bear, man. A bear would eat me. Just
why not a
knock my
deer?
head off and eat my dead body. But game wise, I don't know. Honestly, I ebb and flow. I'm busy, then I've got some time. I'm busy, then I've got some time. When I'm busy, I have no time for anything, even this silly game. And then when I have a little bit of time, I try to spend time with my family and do those kinds of things. I tend to not play Xbox games anymore. I used to love doing that. Used to do it all the time. I'm a super fan of Skyrim. Whoops, sorry about that. I'm a super fan of Skyrim and Fallout series. I love anything Bethesda for the most part, as long as it's from core Bethesda, not from them hiring out. So those two games I love. I'm sad that Skyrim went to online. I was kind of like, ooh, when they did that. And the new Fallout, just same thing. They're following that same pattern. So it kind of demotivated me to play those. I still play Fallout 4 from time to time, and there's some new games coming out, like the new Jedi game that's a single player. I think that looks like a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
Turkin just made me crack up.
I know, I saw. Just keep going. We got to wrap up. We got Jay-Z to do, man.
Next one from Kurtman. He says, can I get a shout out to my guild, Last of the Grey? I talk about you guys a lot about to them. Yes, shout out to Last of the Grey, who sound like an awesome guild since Kurtman is here promoting Jedi Academy.
Well, there you go.
Hooray!
Here, here.
Hurrah! Hurrah!
Paparazzi, question, what would be your relic?
Well, being that I am Darth Relic, I would have a black crystal shaped like my heart. Yes.
Mine would be Porg McFadden.
Yeah, well, God.
Warrior, what would be your relic?
It would be a shark tooth around my neck.
You sure not about lying?
Yeah, no, it'd be a shark tooth because I would wrestle a shark and kill it and then rip his teeth out and wear it around my neck.
That's right. Good old Maurice would be moonshine. All right, next
I should
question.
have gone to good old Maurice first.
Yeah.
Good old Maurice, what would you pick? It's hard to follow.
Mine would probably be an unusually long second toe because I'm constantly stubbing and tripping over this thing. So that'd probably be mine.
That is in sharp contrast to taking out a tooth from a shark.
Yes.
So I was looking around for something to say, and my second toe it stands out. So there we go.
Yeah, good old Maurice kind of person be like warriors in the water, and they're in the Caribbean. Warriors in the shark. Good old Maurice just sit back with the bear like, here you go, buddy. You get that shark. That's right.
I can probably strangle a shark with this second toe.
All right, I don't know where to go with it. Which leads to the next question from Paparazzi. What will it take to get you to make an instructional video, Warrior, on how to take out a mountain lion and win?
Step 1, find mountain lion. Step 3, make profit.
Man, yeah, that would take some money. You know, $1 million, $1 million plus my medical bills paid for afterwards.
I know, right?
There you go. You have the price.
And maybe like a supplemental life insurance policy for my family.
Well, sure.
It might turn out as good as I was expecting.
Yeah. All right. Which leads to the next question then, which we might tie into that, Warrior. Your question for Utah: will you do my marketing and communications project due Thursday for $10?
Not for $10, man. Jesus.
My rate's higher than $10. Sorry,
But mine is too, man. Get out of here.
He just charged $1 million to fight a mountain lion. I mean, come on.
Well, it's not going to be $1 million, but I mean, come on.
No, I know,
$10.
but this has to go towards that $1 million, so it has to be more than $10. That's like. Next question. Zlor Binthager, question for Ranger. When are you going to relic your Jedi Knight Guardian like Adastra?
Let me see. What year is this? 2019? Let's see, 2075. There you go.
All right. Question. Okay. For anyone but good old Maurice, because the question is from good old Maurice. Question. What's more exciting? Unlocking the character of Wat Tambor or unlocking the 6 additional mod inventory slots that comes with any character?
What, man? That was a long grind, man. I just did it too. Good old Maurice, man. That was nice when I hit activate.
Yeah, I was super nervous logging in last night to see that message. I was like, come on, guys.
Well, I felt even better because I had contributed finally because I got my GPA to 13. I'm like, that's right. I contributed.
Yeah, we comfortably got them, man. We got 6 more than we needed.
Yep.
We'll take them all, but I mean, I was a little nervous. I didn't see too many special missions completed there towards the end. I was like, uh-oh. But good job, guys. Good job, Zai.
All right, 2 more. Next one, question from Andrew Cruikshank, and he just says Hondo, just Hondo. He is OP and has synergy with all, but if you take out 3 of his teammates, he will declare this effort is no longer profitable and leaves the battle. That would be a fun character.
I actually like that a lot.
It's basically like the Jar Jar. It'll be like the Jar Jar thing too, right?
I like that so much. Oh, General Jar Jar, what are we going to do? I surrender.
Mike gives up. Okay, and then the last question from Hellenix. He says, question for Ranger. Can we get a shout out for the Escape podcast?
No.
Shows Scotty, who announced his departure from Galaxy of Heroes last night.
I didn't know that. I haven't had a chance to listen.
You didn't know? Yeah.
No.
So if you guys aren't aware, and this will kind of work.
Spoiler
alert. Oh, no.
There's a little bit of a PSA and everything, too.
Oh, no.
Scotty from the Escape podcast is no longer going to be with the Escape podcast, and I believe Nev is going to be filling in for him moving forward. Paul was basically he had been spending a lot on the game, and apparently his wife hadn't realized his spending on the game. And then Relics came, and he purchased. I think he purchased some of these, and his wife saw that, and then kind of took a look at it and was like, "Yeah, that can't stand." And so Scotty's kind of leaving the game right now. So. As a result, he won't be on the Escape podcast. So really sad to see Scotty go. We were on the Escape podcast. He's a really, really good guy.
Yeah, we like Scotty a lot.
Yeah. So sorry to hear that Scotty is leaving. PSA for all of you guys out there, though. This is a game. More important is your financial status.
Yeah, real life is more important. Stuff. Seriously. Yeah.
So please don't spend beyond your means and all that kind of stuff. And in general, if you're trying to hide stuff, chances are that it may not.
That's not a good sign. Yeah, don't.
Yeah. So that's it. But yes, we are gonna miss Scotty for sure.
Well, we love Scotty. We love Paul. Paul, if you're out there listening, you need guest appearances. Me and Finn are always available, my friend. Well, I'll be on there.
Yeah, Ranger's always available.
I do every other goddamn stream. I might as well do that one. I mean,
they go so late.
The one for the Alliance one is hard. I don't know how you do it, good old Maurice. I mean, I'm sitting there at the end.
We were on the Escape podcast. It was a reasonable time when they seemed to record at different times. So, like, it was a reasonable. It's probably 8-9 p.m.
Yeah, that's
fair.
Yeah. Okay, so
for questions.
Yeah, we're for questions. So if you guys are watching this, stop what you're doing, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. We're coming to the end of it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip over immediately and go into GAC. So the event's already up. I already created it. So we'll flip over and we'll start that at 12:15. So I'm here in like 10 minutes or sooner. Once we get all this stuff wrapped up. More importantly, guys, a couple big things. The ACS campaign on the 24th. We're going to need all the skiers, the whole community to get behind this. I really want to crush this for these kids. Please go sign up for the event. If you want to donate already, please go to our Tiltify campaign. It's already up. Big shout out to our lovely skier and friend of the program, Maz Kanata, who already kicked our campaign off with a $100 donation. That's why I love Maz. So if you want to go ahead and start donating, please do. The Tiltify campaign is up. We've already got stuff on there, but on the 24th, we got a 4-hour window. We're going to need everybody there donating, participating, supporting these kids, all that stuff. And the last thing I'll say is, do me another favor, guys. Please go check out these other channels. Check out Good Maurice on Operation Metaverse. Please check out Warrior on Warrior Presents. Give them the thumbs up, subscribe to their channel. These people come here on every Saturday. Jedi Master Dash are the same. So it doesn't matter really. All these shows are linked down below. All these channels. Please go check out their stuff and support them. It does make a difference. Every view, every thumbs up, everything. How long you watch, all this stuff adds up for them to put out the great content that they put out, and it matters. So that's the big things I got to say. Anything? We'll start with you, Ward. Anything you want to pimp specifically for your channel?
Yeah, just that I put out a couple of videos. One was kind of my reaction to Relic's lifetime, which was kind of fun to watch back, although I think I lost some hair with the amount of times I moved my hat. So that might annoy you. But I did come out with a second video, which was the top 15 relics. These are the some of them are common and popular, but some of them are a little more obscure. People might not realize, like young Lando gets, he has the hardest hitting attack in the game now for damage. Just crazy damage numbers, and if he's prepared, it's even more crazy. So there's just some really cool obscurity that comes out of here. There's a lot of like runners up and some fun things like bounty hunters that got a massive boost, and if you go all in on bounty hunter faction, they can take on anyone very easily. So there's just some really cool stuff like that. Check out the video. There's a really good banter going on in the comments section about all the different like characters I didn't list that probably would be like honorable mentions that were really, really awesome, like Wampa and others. So check the video out. Hopefully that helps some of you just determine who you're going to drill down on first. If you're free to play, focus on attackers. If you're a dolphin or whale, focus on attackers and tanks. And if you're a Kraken, just do everyone.
All right. Good on Maurice. Anything you want to pimp real quick, my friend, for your channel? What's going on with Operation Metaverse, stuff like that?
Yeah, that video Warrior made was great. I watched that last night, so do check that out. We made a video as well about our initial reactions, I guess yesterday, day before, and then we do a stream every Tuesday. We plan to do maybe a couple more little impromptu ones, kind of unannounced, over the next week or so, kind of progressing and what we're doing with the relics and stuff. So a lot of stuff coming out from us the next couple weeks, and then also Sunday night, Ranger joins us on the Ramona Zub channel, the Alliance Live show. That is, well, we're going to say 11:30 on Sunday nights.
Sometime Sunday night, Monday morning.
Yeah.
Unless you're West Coast.
The call starts at 11.
Yeah. But it's fun. All right. With that, we're going to flip over. So all you guys watching, I'm getting ready to do my JC, my next round. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, get ready to check that out. So with that, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you here in a few minutes if you're staying. If not, we'll catch you tonight. We're going to be are we doing any Pictionary tonight, Finn? Or are you all in on Borderlands?
No, we should be good on Pictionary. I'll play Borderlands during the afternoon. I'm not going to be streaming probably today, but I'll be playing it and trying to hang out in Discord when I can. I have some errands to run in the morning. But yeah, we will do Pictionary in the evening.
Okay, so 10 o'clock p.m. You haven't joined us for our Pictionary fun. That's always a great time. All right, so on behalf of myself and the Jedi Council, thank you guys for stopping in today. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in a few minutes. If not,